Well, one guy who knows a little something about championships is Phil Jackson. 11 titles as a coach, so which one was the most special? Our buddy Rick Fox caught up with Phil and asked him that very question.
Any favorite out of the 11 years of collecting that trophy where maybe you thought starting the season that championship was years away?
The initial championship is exhilarating, of course. It's a wonderful feeling, as you know. But I was just remembering, for some reason, Charles Barkley was talking about losing all 3 home games in the finals of '93 to the Bulls. And they had worked so hard to get home court advantage, and it meant nothing because they lost all 3 of the games that they had on their home court. It was just a remarkable game. You know, Marley was hitting threes, Ainge was hitting threes. Scottie Pippen was under duress. He had cramps because of heat exhaustion, and it was really a sultry, hot day in Chicago. And it was one of those games that you always remember as really a special championship because of the way it ended, with everybody touching the ball and Paxson hitting that 3-point shot and winning a 3-peat championship, you know, for the first time.
Yes! The Bulls take a 1-point lead. The Chicago Bulls for 3 straight NBA championships.
You can see the rest of that interview with Rick Fox on NBA.com. Chuck, I hate to, you know,
41.
You think about
yeah, it was
that,
41 for the
Phil,
series.
You hear Phil Jackson
Shooting
talking
50%.
about it, but is it still hurt to watch the images of that series go by?
Yeah, it does. You know, it was so, you know, because I was talking about that last week. This thing with the Pacers. To win the championship, you got to win on the road. But the thing that was interesting about that entire thing, the first round of playoffs, we lost the first 2 games at home to the Lakers. Went to L.A. and won 2, and then wrapped it up back in Phoenix. Then we lost the first game of the next series against the Spurs. And then in the Western Conference Finals, we lost the first game against Seattle. So home court is really good to have, but if you're going to win a championship, you got to win on the road. We actually won 2 out of 3 in Chicago. So it was just frustrating to lose all 3 home games. We had worked so hard to get it the entire season.
Do you feel like was there a feeling on that team, because you've warned the Pacers against just because you have home court, that you're automatic? Did that creep in your minds at all?
No, because we had already lost in every series. That's the point I wanted to make. It was just a very frustrating to lose all 3 home games. And to be honest with you, Ernie, in game 1, everybody was nervous. We played great in game 2. Michael just was better. And we played well, and they just hit the shot at the buzzer. But the only game I felt really bad about was game 1, because we had so many nervous guys, and I probably didn't lead us well enough, because I was not nervous, but all my other guys were nervous, and I didn't do anything to calm them down. That was the only thing that's always bugged me all these years later. Was Phil Jackson a different guy in the regular season and the postseason?
No, he was the same guy pretty much all around. I think what helped me with Phil was he was finally a guy that came into my life where I trusted the system. All the other guys with no championship experience. I was a stubborn guy, enjoyed the coach. I always used to question him. No, I did. I used to question him, like, you know, how do you know what to do in a Game 7 situation? But when Phil came, he said, Shaq, you got to trust me. I know what I'm talking about. We all knew he knew what he was talking about. And, you know, he led me 3 championships in a row. He told me to settle down, play hard. Actually, when I first met him, he said, I want you to average 28-15. And that's where I always get the 28-15. So I want you to average 28-15. You average 28-15, I guarantee you'll be the MVP this year, and you'll get a championship.
I got a question for you.
Yes.
Do you wish, 2 questions. Do you wish you and Kobe would have handled y'all relationship differently? And if so, how many championships you think y'all could have won?
We didn't have a bad relationship because we won 3 out of 4 championships. That's not a bad relationship at all. Second of all, it was a money situation. I was getting older. They wanted me to take less money. I wasn't going to do that. So they traded to Miami. The way it turned out was the way it was supposed to turn out.
No, but I'm just saying if y'all had to stay together, because clearly the relationship was not perfect. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, but you know what? When in leadership, you either focus on the task or you focus on the relationship. I was focusing on the task, and we won 3 out of 4. Don't get no better than that. It doesn't matter how many fights we had, how many scuffles we had. We're the best 1-2 punch ever created. Don't get no better than winning 3 out of 4.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I think that you guys are arguably, I would say, behind Jordan and Pippen in the 1-2 punch.
Yeah, but a lot of that stuff was created by me because I know he was a tough, honorary kid. I used to push his buttons, he used to push my buttons, and it made us perform at high levels. He was trying to outdo me, I was trying to outdo him, and it was hell for the opponents.
Yeah, well, I think, again, I think the question, then I'll answer. I think I think they would have won 2 more championships.
Yeah, 5.
I think they would have won 2 more championships.
Probably 5.
If they stayed together. I think the other thing that the perception was that you were taking less money, but you offered less money, I think, because of the perception as well. You know what I mean? So if the perception, if it wasn't a perception that you guys had a riff, I think they might have said, okay, let's step up and get 2 more championships.
I think it was 30, and I was making 30 at the time, but they wanted me to go to 20, and I wasn't going to do that.
Oh boy,
wasn't going to do that.
What a problem to have.
Yeah, I wasn't going to do that. So
I wasn't doing it either.
Miami and got 1
I sure wouldn't have done it either.
But a lot of people ask me that, Chuck. I'm gonna go with 5 or 6. I'm gonna go with 5 or 6.